Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. We've been continuously following the students' movement at the Jantar Mantar, what's happening, the major police crackdown, and the news which is just coming in right at the beginning of the show. I'm going to show you a circular, and it says that all shop owners and office establishments in the Connaught Place area as advised by the chairman NDMC, that is the New Delhi Municipal Corporation, and the vice chairman of NDMC, telephonically looking at the critical situation around CP. It has been strictly advised that all shops and establishments, including offices and restaurants in Connaught Place, New Delhi, shall close for the day by 6:30 p.m. today, that is 23rd of July. Now, all establishment owners, occupiers are requested to cooperate and ensure strict compliance with the above directions to avoid any unpleasant situation and save yourself from any loss of property and injury. So this circular clearly goes to show that there is some sort of a police crackdown everyone is preempting. And in the morning also around 7:30 a.m., we saw Delhi Metro Rail Corporation tweet saying that all the 16 metro stations have been closed down, but then later on they revoked that order. What does this order mean? And just a short while back, we saw Supreme Court lawyers reciting a preamble in the lawns of the Supreme Court. I want to show you that visual because that's an unprecedented scene which we haven't seen. Now look at this. If you can up the audio, let's hear these lawyers out. This is probably the Supreme Court Bar Association members reading out the preamble in the wake of the student protest which is happening. Just hear them out.
And to secure to all its citizens. And to secure to all its citizens. Justice. Justice. Social. Social. Economic. Political. Liberty. Of thought. Expression. Belief. Faith. And worship. Equality.
So this recitation of the preamble is about saving the democracy, saving the constitution. And the news also, which is just coming in, Union Minister JP Nadda, he has said that the government is open for further talks with Cockroach Janata Party, and that the Cockroach Janata Party members can meet him either at his house or office. But if you remember, if you have seen the tweet, Abhijit Dipke and Saurabh Das had put it out. CJP, on the other hand, has said that any further talks with the government only at Jantar Mantar or some neutral venue. That is what they have pointed out. So it's like a complete state of deadlock. Yesterday in the evening, last evening, we saw tear gas shells again being lobbed on the students. There was tension, there was internet shutdown. That's what was reported last evening. This was around 8 or 8:30. That's where the people, it was a complete state of confusion. Uh, and this morning, if you see, I'm going to put out a tweet by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is how he has assuaged the anxiety. He has said, and after 2 months, since the time the NEET paper leak happened, 2 months later, Prime Minister Modi says that he is going to set up the fast track courts for the speedy prosecution of the paper leak cases. This is what he has said. I'm going to read out the tweet by Prime Minister Modi. Nothing is more important than the welfare and future of the youth. We've decided to set up fast track courts to ensure swift, stringent punishment for those involved in paper leaks, have directed the concerned authorities and officials to take all necessary steps in this regard. This continues our series of steps for safeguarding the interests of the students. Those who try to harm the future of our youth will not be spared. This is what Prime Minister Modi had put out. In the parliament also, the scenes were quite stormy because the entire India alliance was protesting, was raising slogans. I want to show you those pictures. If you can have those pictures played out. This was outside Parliament's Makar Dwar. And if you can up the audio, let's hear what the slogans are, what India alliance leaders are saying. Bharani, if you're there backstage, can we up the audio, please? Okay. All right. So where is this movement headed to? And now since the news which we are getting is that the shops in and around CP area are going to be closed, there is a circular by the NDMC What does that go to show? Is there going to be a major police crackdown by evening? That's what we will be discussing. Joining me this evening is Wing Commander Anuma Acharya, Congress spokesperson. Thank you so much for joining. We have Professor Tanveer Ejaz, professor at the Ramjas College of University of Delhi. Thank you so much, Professor Ejaz, for joining. We have TK Rajlakshmi, senior journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much. And I'll begin with Rajlakshmi. This circular by the NDMC, it actually evokes a lot of panic. Look at this circular. Is police, does it go to show that police is planning some sort of a major crackdown, maybe by evening?
See, I don't think it's a circular from the NDMC, Nilu, but it's a circular from the NTDA, the Traders Association,
No, it says as advised by, okay, yeah, New Delhi
Yeah.
Traders Association, yes.
Yeah. So the
As
circular
advised
is
by
by
the
them.
chairman NDMC, yes.
Right. So they're referring to a telephonic discussion with the MDMC. Frankly, if the NDMC wants to issue a circular, let them issue a circular. They are supposed to be in fact the body in sort of authority to do this. I mean, the whole thing about based on a telephonic message with them, and therefore we are issuing this circular. It's a little odd. So, but it may be true also, because since I think there were some incidents yesterday, which was outside the perimeter of the protest area. So obviously, a spillover has happened because huge numbers of people have in fact gathered there and have come to express their solidarity. So obviously, that area of Jantar Mantar is not enough to contain all of them. So it's quite natural that some of them are sort of walking around. They've gone into Connaught Place. But there, I think the police are trying to sort of push them back, and they're trying to say that you restrict in yourself, only to the Sansad Marg area, and that too, leading to Jantar Mantar. So again, it's that particular stretch where they've been sort of indirectly told to stick to and to stay. And we saw visuals a few days ago, Nilu, of just people just randomly sort of hitting. Hitting passerbys, hitting students. In fact, there's this visual of this RF personnel who is tripping student, who's wearing a helmet, and then he's sort of hit again. So I think these kind of provocative actions have been sort of taking place, and I do not know what in fact motivated the shelling yesterday and the and the large charge yesterday, but I think this is also creating some kind of a fear, some kind of panic and mongering to say that the CJP protesters might come and loot you and might force you to shut shop. Therefore we are sort of preempting this, and saying that we have given you sufficient warning, so you shut down your shops, because we don't know which way this in fact protest is going to take shape. So I think there is a certain bit of in fact panic and mongering by the administration and by the government. In fact, on the other hand, they should say that fine, things are under control, and you people but this is also, I think to get the to in fact wean away the sympathy of people away from the protest, because I think the middle classes, if they feel that shopkeepers, etc., and even if there is some kind of sympathy, in fact, I think there is substantial now sympathy for the protesters, and especially in fact more so the way they were sort of beaten and manhandled by the security staff. So I think in view of that, there's all these things, shutdowns, excessive traffic controls. So all these things, obviously, at some point, uh, uh, you know they would have the effect of irritating people. And once, if the ordinaries of Janta gets irritated, then the government feels, oh, let us now they are sort of shifting, they are now shifting their support, or their loyalties from the protesters to us now.
Right,
So all these things are, I think, mind games, psyops, I think whatever you call it, which is not really required to spread, I think,
right.
this kind of
No,
panic.
yesterday also, when this tear gas attacks started happening, and all of a sudden it started. Nobody knew why it started, who started
Yeah.
it, Nobody has an
Absolutely.
idea. And now, all of a
Absolutely.
sudden, first the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation puts out a circular saying all the metro stations will be closed. Now,
Yeah.
then they revoked it. Now there is a
Very well.
circular
Yeah.
saying that,
Exactly.
according to a telephonic conversation with the NDMC chairman,
Yeah.
I'll come to
Mm.
Wing Commander Anuma Acharya. Anuma, what do you think this circular shows? Are you expecting some sort of a police crackdown in the evening, and that is why, as a preemptive step, they've ordered the shops to be closed in and around the Connaught Place area?
See, power is strongest when it listens, not when it intimidates. And what I am seeing, they are going to do this crackdown. It is so negative an impact with this circular that they are going to do something very incorrect, because as such ITBP is around, Delhi police is as such there. And what this government is going to do, we do not know. I mean, no wall is high enough to stop an idea that people believe in. But still, are they going to do something? Are they going to do some kind of, narrative building, or it's a crackdown on the people? Are they going to suppress it? What it is going to be? Because there will not be many reporters. People may not report it. But what is so evident, that government is going to do something which is, maybe a Tiananmen Square, like China, maybe democracies. I don't know. I mean, if people are asking questions, see, there are two kind of phenomena happening. One, for the internal audience, that fast track court has been established, and four states they are doing it, and Prime Minister Modi's tweet, that is for internal consumption. But what actually they are going to do with the protesters? They are all, there could be some people of CJP, and I think they may not be around when this happens. But the innocent students who have come from other states, what is going to happen to them? If the government thinks, like, to me, I feel that BJP is a gang of coward people. Do they think that if they threaten people with the kind of lathi charge and police and paramilitary, and people will stop? Then they are absolutely wrong, because then people become more defiant. If you try to crack them down like this in a democracy, then it's your understanding of democracy and people is incorrect. There's something drastically wrong with the, as such, we know there is everything wrong with this government, because this government is trying to shut down market. But you cannot shut down people's conscience, because that will now emerge more stronger, heavier than before. So I only hope government doesn't take such a stupid step. I only hope that the
Right.
paramilitary and the military and the police does not do something against our people. That's what I only hope. But this message is very negative.
Right. Also joining us this evening is Samajwadi Party spokesperson Sarvesh Tripathi. Sarvesh, I'm coming to you. There's a circular which says that all the shops in and around the Jantar Mantar area or in the CP area will be closed down. And there is a circular by the New Delhi Traders Association. They have stated in that letter that, according to a telephonic conversation with the NDMC chairman and vice chairman, all the shops have been ordered to close down around 6:30. Now, does that mean that police is preparing for another major crackdown probably in the evening? And since yesterday tension has been sensed, like you were there throughout the night last evening, and so what does this latest circular show? You have to unmute. Sarvesh, unmute yourself.
A very good evening to everyone present here and everyone watching us. So this is, to me, they are trying to get that Jantar Mantar area cleared up, but these circulars are just for deterrence for now. They want to create a narrative in the minds of people that there are anti-national people who are protesting, and there are no students, and it is just the opposition party. They're just targeting the opposition parties, and they have plans for booking people in 120B or UAPA or NSA. Now they have validated this. They were police commissioner for NSA. They have renewed the power the police commissioner has. So it is all, and that is being circulated on purpose, because they want deterrence to be created in the minds of students and everyone protesting. But as Mam was saying, government is not going to make any further mistake like they did yesterday or till yesterday. They're now they're targeting in pickets. They are targeting students in pickets, and they're using lathi and everything just to you know instill the fear or the deterrence for that matter. They're not targeting the protesters on as whole. When we went there to for the sending them help and provisions, water and everything, they allowed us to. Initially they stopped us, but eventually they allowed us to give them whatever we were there for. So they are not targeting the protesters in totality. They're just targeting people for the deterrence purpose. And now that you have seen, Supreme Court has condemned it. So the lawyers of Supreme Court, SCBA, Supreme Court Bar Association, has issued a letter condemning it. SCORA, that is Supreme Court Advocate on
In
Record
fact,
Association,
Sarvesh,
has condemned it.
were you there today when the lawyers in the Supreme Court launched today,
Yes,
recited the preamble?
yes,
What was the idea
yes.
behind doing it, and what were those lawyers conveying
because
today?
because before that, they have the Supreme Court Bar Association has condemned in their letter whatever has been happening, this police brutality, and they are very clear that it is against the values of constitution per se. So they did that only, and it is in every.
This is totally opposite to what Chief Justice of India, Justice Surikant, said yesterday. He said, "I don't even want to see the videos. I don't have the time. Don't waste your time. Don't
And
waste my
now,
time."
now he has started speaking when the metro was shut. So, so this is two things. It is, say, bar and we are
Oh, I think Sarvesh has got disconnected. Okay, let me go to Pushpraj. Pushpraj, today, I mean, this morning, Prime Minister Modi put out a tweet after 2 months when this NEET paper leak happened, and now he's said that we will set up fast track courts for speedy prosecution of the NEET paper leak cases. Does it make sense? And is it too little, too late now? And given the kind of atmosphere which prevails all around, shops being closed, police crackdown, police brutalities, all this, and the courts almost not saying anything, like after what CJI said yesterday. Yes, Pushpraj.
Iluji, a very good afternoon to you, our panelists, and our viewers. Firstly, let me correct you. Prime Minister Modi is not tweeting 2 months late. He's tweeting 10 years late. There have been 152 paper leaks in the last decade under his watch and his government, and 7.5 crore students have been affected. Their lives have been impacted. These fast track courts are actually glacial courts. They are too little too late, as you rightly pointed out. And the fact of the matter is that the Prime Minister is doing this only after public pressure has mounted and it has reached a crescendo and they are not able to manage it. Instead of taking action against Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, who should have taken moral responsibility and been sacked, what has he done? He has now intimidated students. The Reserve Action Force has tear gassed them. The CRPS has lathi charged them with nails in the sticks. They have been water cannoned. They have been dislodged. They have been vilified, caricatured. Everything possible you could have done. You have also done the same thing to the opposition. Now, today, let me also show you the visuals where I am. If you can see behind me, this is the Congress Party office in Kolhapur. You know what the BJP is doing now? They are attacking every Congress headquarters in every city, saying that you need to now take responsibility for Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is trying to create a situation of unrest in this country. We are all sitting here, the Congress Party, the civil society has joined in here because the BJP offices are outside. They're barricaded outside the DCC offices. There is heavy police bandobast outside. This is what they are trying to do. Is this the kind? Does this signal any kind of contrition from the Modi government? Does this, in any sense, seem conciliatory? Does this government seem accountable to you or me or to the
But
students?
Pushpraj, do you sense that this is turning into some sort of a street battle between Congress and
It
BJP?
is
Because
not a
I
street.
mean,
Sorry,
see,
it is not a street battle between the Congress and the BJP. It is a street battle between the people of India and the BJP. Let us be
right.
very clear. There are lakhs of students in Delhi. There are lakhs of students in Ahmedabad, in Bombay, in Mumbai, in Bangalore, in every city, in Odisha, in Cuttack. 28 cities across India are now afflicted by peaceful protests. Mind you, the students and the Congress party and the India party are protesting peacefully using constitutional under the constitutional framework. What is the BJP doing? It is throwing stones, it is tear gassing, it is lathi charging, it is water canning, and now it is attacking legitimate political protests outside party offices to put pressure on the Congress party as the biggest opposition party to withdraw support from the students. They are trying to pull the carpet from under these students because they do not want to pay heed to the students. What do you expect from this government? It does not believe it is accountable to us, the people. It believes that it is imperious. This government and this prime minister behaves as if the country is its personal jagir, and the prime minister behaves as if he's the raja of this country. This is absolutely unacceptable in every possible way.
All right. Now let me come to Professor Ejaz. It's a state of a deadlock almost because JP Nadda has said that he is ready to meet Cockroach Janata Party people and the student protesters at his home or office. Whereas Cockroach Janata Party says that no, the government emissaries have to come there at Jantar Mantar or some neutral venue. I'm just playing out the information which we have got. CJP center talks deadlock over the venue. Union Health Minister JP Nadda extends fresh invite to CJP leaders for talks. Venue proposed his official residence. CJP spokesperson Saurav Das declines, says party won't hold talks at anyone's house or office. What does this situation now look like? Either side is not ready to back down. Professor Ejaz.
So what I think is that these students have lost complete trust in the government. They are not ready to go to their office. They are not ready to go to their residence. What does it indicate? Simply indicates that they have lost complete trust, and they do not trust these politicians, particularly those who are representing the government, the BJP. Now, this is a very bad situation. It's a very precarious situation, right? The government, on the other hand, they are not at all listening and engaging in a creative dialogue with these students. It would have been much better, if some of them would have reached to Jantar Mantar or reached to the place, because after all, they are students. They should have gone to Jantar Mantar. They should have talked to these students. They should have, what they are doing is that, as Pushparaj said, that they're acting like a king, mere paas aao, come to me with a petition and I'll see to it. Now, this is not done. 22 days have passed. So many students, were hospitalized in ICU, and the kind of brutal barbarity that has taken place on these students. You'll be shocked to know the barbarity, lathis with nails, and not only just lathis with nails, but excessive shock-inducing batons were used. Imagine, so this is and just for a peaceful protest. So after all, they are trying to, let me tell you what I have a sense of, whatever the background that you have given, what I have a sense is that they want to repeat the process what they had done in CAA, right? In the CAA protest, they converted into some sort of a communal riot. Similarly, this one, they are planning to convert into some kind of a riot-like situation where police would crack down on these students because, they kidnapped their leader, A, and B, they made the whole, movement leaderless, rudderless. So that is their game plan. And of course, when the government has allowed police to book them under NSA, this all is very precarious in nature and very dangerous. Let me tell you. So the situation is very dangerous, and it is not now. So if you crack down in Delhi, what are you going to do in Patna? What are you going to do in, Karnataka for that matter? What are you going to do in Kerala for that matter? So it's not just Delhi centered. The movement right now is not just Delhi centered. We are seeing it's a pan India. And as Pushparaj has said, it is civil society versus BJP right now. It is not Congress versus BJP. It is civil society versus BJP, and civil society where you see all, parents, after all, it's the future of their kids, all parents, students, lakhs and lakhs of students. And let me tell you, these students are very creative students. Don't underestimate Gen Z. They are very creative. If you crack down today, tomorrow they'll rise up. That's what they're going to do, because they are saying very clearly that don't treat me like earlier, sort of generation. We are a different generation. This is what I've heard in most of their songs and creative arts, and what they're when they're protesting. So I think
Right.
government has to handle it
Right.
with handle very carefully. It's a very dangerous situation. You can't take lives of students. If you take lives of one student, it's
Right.
going to have a larger political
Right,
ramification.
right. Professor Ejaz, I'd like to go back to Sarvesh because he was speaking and he got disconnected. Sarvesh, coming back to you, what Supreme Court lawns witnessed today in the recitation of the preamble, what all the lawyers did. You were speaking and you got disconnected. Will you continue from there as to what was the compulsion, why those lawyers felt that they need to do it in the full glare of the camera?
See, this is very essential for now. Every sane mind should speak up. And everyone who believes in the Constitution, who believes in humanity, everyone should come in front and speak up. So it was as lawyers and as someone who guardians or believers of constitution, it is for the judicial fraternity. We are also officers of the court, so we it is our responsibility to speak for constitution, speak for democracy, and speak for people. It is not only civil society. I would add up that it is humanity against BJP now, BJP against humanity for that matter. So now everyone who has got soul, who has got sane mind, should speak up for the democracy, for the
Right,
humanity, for our children and our future.
right. All
Because
right.
this brutality is inhuman. I have
Right.
served in those uniforms, and it is totally inhuman.
All right.
It is
Now let me
against the
come to.
ethics of the forces.
Right. Okay. Let me come to Anumaji. I don't know what shape this movement is going to take, but there is indeed an effort to divide this movement in different ways. Now, look at the divisions which are coming, from the Cockroach Janta Party side. Now, say, for example, Sonam Wangchuk's wife, Anjali Angmo, she was there on Rajdeep Sardesai's show last night where she said that this protest by Rahul Gandhi outside the 7 Lok Kalyan Marg was uncalled for. It lacks sincerity. Similarly, as far as the demands are concerned, there is a slight climb down which we have seen on Sonam Wangchuk's side as well. So it's now become Congress versus Cockroach Janta Party. What do you feel is the reason? And look at this: what Pushpraj showed in his backdrop at Kolhapur, how the Congress officers are being attacked. And look at this screenshot I'm showing. Delhi's protest spawns Congress versus BJP, street battles in several cities. So that was Kolhapur, which Pushpraj showed us. But several cities are becoming a victim of this kind of a battle. What would you say, Anumaji?
Sonam Wangchuk himself had owned up that he was made to meet Abhijit Dipke by when insisted the LG of Ladakh insisted him to meet him. So I think BJP wanted to create its own opposition, its own opposition of its own liking, and that's what they were going towards. I mean, I feel that they are not. This was not an organic thing. That when the Abhijit Dipke is completing his course, at that time suddenly in one of the courtroom word cockroach pops up, and the cockroach is picked up by the journalist, and then it is there are some 20 million followers. I don't think this was all organic. So I think I mean, with this, I
But
feel that
Anumaji, I just like to interrupt you here. There's some sort of a confusion because one may question the intention of Sonam Wangchuk or Abhijit Dipke without any offense to either of them. But one cannot dismiss the genuine sentiment of the thousands of students who are there at Jantar Mantar. So, how does one associate with that cause? And how does Congress associate then? If I talk about Congress, like yesterday, Rahul Gandhi said in his press conference that we are there with each and every student. But when we see this kind of a division, what should be the stance of Congress?
See, the Congress has picked up this issue from the very beginning. The Indian Youth Congress and NSUI has started protesting against it. They were already talking about the students and the Chhatro ki Goonj in Kota, subsequently in Dehradun and all other places. All the states Congress is already protesting. But they wanted to discredit this particular thing. Still, Congress was politically right. Our Sangathan, organization secretary, Mr. Venugopal, very clearly sends a message across to Sonam Wangchuk that please leave your this protest, and we are already taking up this case. See, they cannot discredit the very opposition of this country, who was already alive and taking up that case. But Sonam Wangchuk insisted that it has to be non-political. Why non-political? Because in democracy, politics is the forum through which you can take up the voices. You can make the government listen. So, if Sonam Wangchuk and Gitanjali Wangchuk are thinking that the entire credit is being taken away by the opposition, they should not think that way, because should be fought in solidarity. Everybody thinks that whatever is happening in the sector of education is incorrect, which should not happen this way. So everybody should be together. It is not only the responsibility of opposition. This should be thought about by Sonam Wangchuk, Mrs. Wangchuk, and the CJP itself. Because as such, ऐसा तो नहीं था कि कोई उठा नहीं रहा था मुद्दे. So it was already there. But now here, you don't protect democracy by locking public spaces. You protect it by protecting the right to dissent. And silencing criticism has never solved a single problem. But listening has, which government denies, which government doesn't want to. And fear is never good for public policy. Dialogue is. That's what BJP is not understanding. Again, the monologue by Mr. JP Nadda yesterday evening. And the whole day, BJP MPs are trying to set up narratives. Same is doing the Godi media. So I think students are not the enemy of the nation. They are the future of our nation. And closing the Not place will not close the debate happening across the country. I mean, the louder the government tries to silence people, the louder the questions become.
Right. Okay. I'll take the concluding comments now from the three of you. Pushpraj, coming to you first. Yes, I know you are at the protest site, so you'll have to leave. How does one prevent this movement from getting diffused or diluted? Because there are efforts. I'm sure the police will do a crackdown. They will try and do a major dispersal at the Jantar Mantar site. But then how do you prevent this movement from getting totally obfuscated at this point of time?
Firstly, let me just make a very quick comment. This protest is no longer about the CJP. It is no longer about an individual. It is no longer about a political party, whether it is Congress, AAP, or any other party. It is much bigger than everyone now. It has transcended partisan lines. It is no longer circled around. It is not.
Absolutely.
And it is unique because it is not about distributional questions or about narrow sectional interests, whether it's class, caste, or so on and so forth. It has become about civic rights and freedoms. It is about constitutional morality. It is about the dignities, freedoms, and rights afforded to all of us, individuals and citizens. So it's bigger than that. And because of this, what has happened is it has had a domino and ripple effect. It has already gone beyond what this government wanted, whether it was engineered, unengineered. I don't want to get into that. But the fact of the matter is, it has now been able to, thanks to social media and this generation, I must tell you, my impression of Gen Z has completely changed. This generation is far more disruptive and creative than any generation before this. It just refuses to listen to hierarchies. And I love the fact that despite so much police brutality, despite so much state suppression, it came back with renewed hope. Do you realize that after 12 years of darkness and difficulties, this generation and the young people of India, the future of India, have given all of us hope to actually fight for the constitutional idea of India. And I'm telling you, we've been suppressed for 12 long years. I keep saying this. Please start quoting Nehru. The soul of a nation long suppressed has found utterance after 12 dark years. And trust me, nothing is going to stop this now. It has gone beyond them. They can keep clamping down on Twitter. They can keep imposing Section 144. They can keep cracking down on Congress offices or anything else. They can keep arresting Rahul Gandhi, which is what he said. It does not matter. It has gone beyond that. It has become a Jan Andolan. And I'm telling you, what if they crack down on in Delhi, in Jantar Mantar, if they do this, this would be the biggest strategic mistake that the government of India would be making. because this would be the spark that is going to ignite a million mutinies across India. And this is not going to get controlled. And I'm telling you one more thing, sorry, one last thing. The fact that the government is not listening to these people, to us, the fact that the courts, we should ideally be taking suo motu cognizance, are now saying we don't have time to listen to this. It is creating the impression that no one pays heed to our voice. And I'm trust me on this one. This is the kind of imperious attitude that leads to centrifugal and speciparous tendencies. I God forbid something goes out of hand because they are pushing Indians into a corner. Sooner or later, this is going to. Do you realize how many cars they've cracked down? BJP leaders have been beaten in every city. I'm not joking. It is not manufactured. Ordinary students and ordinary people are cracking down on BJP leaders. This is going to get really, really bad for BJP if they don't change their way and course correct now. Bottom line is, I think that the future of India is looking very bright. Modi came on a wave in 2014. Trust me, he's going out on a tsunami in 2029.
All right. Now that brings me to the question what Pushpa just said. Rajlakshmi, coming to you, and then I'll take the final comments from Professor Ejaz. That is Prime Minister Modi or the BJP failing to read this student revolution completely? Because I still see the legacy media anchors saying कि Modi ji ki galti hai, and at the same time they are providing him a protective cover that he's too much of democracy is seen harmful. I saw one of the anchors from the legacy media saying this, and in fact a couple of other anchors also are taking the same line that it's like too much of a democracy, and the government should come down hard. So it seems that the mainstream media is providing a protective cover to the BJP government, and then how will it read the real sentiment of the students?
So they are as cut off from what's happening as the government is. So I feel sorry for them actually, because ultimately I mean they have to sort of step out sometime out of their comfort zones, out of their 5-star cubicle offices, and they'll have to face people, and all those faces are now of course recognized faces as sort of representing the so-called Godi media, right? Anyway, I think the government failed to see the writing on the wall, as of course several of us also thought initially that this was just an online movement, and it would be restricted to that only, or that it was confined to a certain class of individuals. But ultimately we have found that this thing has, I mean, I think the grievances are sort of genuine, and so they have sort of resonated. That is why it's gone sort of beyond the CJP, and it's gone beyond Sonam Wangchuk also. So and the other thing is, I think Nilu, in any kind of a movement, there are bound to be I think sort of different points of view, and different points of view on how to sort of conduct the thing also, the protest also, and also in fact the nature of demands, because I think they keep evolving as the protest would evolve, things would evolve. So in fact we should assume that anything is static and is sort of written in stone. But yes, some fundamental demands are there. For instance, the complete overhauling of the education system is there. It's not just going to stop now. It should basically scrap the NEP. It should be scrap the NEP, because from the NEP flows everything else. Now you have NTA flows from that, you have NEET flows from that, everything, the entire centralization of higher education, and for that matter education itself, okay, which is an outcome of the NEP. So I think scrap NEP should be now, I mean,
Yes.
in fact a demand, and it has come out as a demand. So
Right.
I wouldn't give so much importance to let's say the differences of opinion which have come up. But yes, now I think the government in fact is trying to sort of, I think, create a wedge for its own, of course, of its own objectives also. And here I think the organizers have to be I think a little bit cautious. But I think now there's so much of support across. I mean, it's gone beyond in fact Delhi also. So it's not just confined to the organizers, but it's gone beyond Delhi, and it's happening all over the all over the country,
Even abroad.
Right.
even abroad. So it's really picked up, and I think it's not going to sort of die down soon, as well. It's not going to
Yes,
die
at
down
least
soon. Yeah.
it looks
So
like
there's
that
hope.
as of now.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah. So
I'll come to Professor Ajaz now for the concluding comments. So what, very briefly, what would you say now? Which way are the things headed? Do you think that there could be some sort of step backing on the government side?
As it goes with any social movement, it goes high and it goes low. So there might be a situation where it might ebb for some time if there is a huge crackdown, or maybe from the government side, they remove, hypothetically, they remove the education minister. So it's going to die down a bit. But I'm very sure that the question now is not just simply of paper leak or examination. It's the larger question of education reforms. And students, you will have to take into consideration the larger ideas which are hidden in NEP, which is privatization, which is education becoming so expensive, inflation, structural economic inequalities. These are the real questions. Unemployment, Gen Z and millennials unemployment. Recently I read an article where I read that Gen Z unemployment is huge, both urban and rural. It's huge, right? So therefore I think now the question is not of just simply of paper leak or even removal of education minister, because now the Gen Z or students are out to protest. They have understood about the whole idea of protest. They have understood their rights. They have understood their freedom of speech. No matter, this government is trying to become like a police state, but police state where you have democratic institutions taking roots cannot be uprooted so easily. After all, after independence, we have assiduously we have rooted all the democratic institutions. It can't
Right.
be uprooted in just 10 years. So the students,
All right.
who got the understanding of their rights, are not going to go back, are not going to claw back. They are not going to withdraw. They are going to get their rights, and their rights perhaps seems in the larger structural reforms that
Yes.
perhaps we are encountering these days. Yeah.
Right. So all eyes now would be what happens in the evening. There is a circular which says that all the shops will be closed. Maybe this is a preemptive call which they are taking, but you never know. So we'll have to keep a close watch on what's happening in and around Jantar Mantar. For now, we'll have to end the program. Thank you so much, Professor Ejaz, Anumaji, Rajlakshmi. Thank you so much for joining.